Hello and welcome to the Free Sunshine Souls channel. And the first video we're gonna do is a little astrology chart, which breaks down the 12 signs, the planets that rule them, their signs and the meaning, the order they come in, with a little bit of storytelling, their tendencies, and the cell salts, because interestingly enough, each zodiac sign is ruled by a different cell salt in the body and also relates to a different function in the body. So we're going to go over those head to toe, one by one, and see the planetary effects as well, because the planetary rays are hitting us and their elements that the planet rules over are being emitted. So being born under that sign, you're going to have more of that cell salt that rules that particular sign. But we can do more videos to get over into more in depth on each of these sections. But first, we are just going to do a general overview. So let's get into it with Aries. So the beginning of the zodiac signs, it doesn't start at the beginning of the year, like we would say beginning of the year, January, because the spring equinox isn't until the 21st of March. And that's when the year begins. That's when everything began. And it's interesting when you think of a baby being pushing itself out of the womb. That's like Aries. Aries is the ram. Aries is the start, the beginning of the human journey. So the ram being pushing through, exposing, breaking through the winter, entering a new era of spring and grass and greenery and new life. But it comes in hard. It comes in fast and hard. Its planet is Mars, the planet of war, and it rules the brain, potassium phosphate, so it controls the brain fluid, the highest rate of vibration in the body, which makes sense, right? Aries being the start, the kickstart to the zodiac. So it has its advantage in being headstrong and a warrior, but it's still lacking, because it's the first sign, it's lacking all these other experiences to have. So the human experience, why is it important to know all of these zodiac signs, not just the one that affects you? Because they all affect us. In talking with other people, you can realize their tendencies, how the different signs clash and interact based on the planet that rules them or the parts of the body that rules them. Some may clash being too similar, some may not be able to find the similarities, but we are all put here and separated. The way they talked about it in the book I just read was an orange, 12 divisions of an orange. So it's like that. We are this one orange, and each zodiac sign is one little section of the same orange. And we're just remembering and learning lessons. These signs, being born under these signs, essentially just represent a lesson to be learned here on Earth. So the first one, warrior spirit, fiery energy. So that's March 21st to April 21st. I know I'm showing you that like you can see it, but I will, if you're interested in having this full chart, drop your email in the comments or send me your email. And sorry, I have a little bit of congestion, but yeah, I can email you this list. I think it's important to have a guideline and understand that we are all one in the terms, yes, we are all one consciousness, but also we are all one being learning different lessons, and each person has a different perspective to offer based on their sign and what rules them. You do not know their experience because you are not born under that sign. And more, we can dive into this in another video, that each particular birth chart in the position of all the planets will be affecting you. Basically, the sky is a snapshot, mirror image of a man's whole life in the moment he is born. So, done with Aries, moving on to Taurus, April 21st through May 21st. So, we've pushed through, we've started life, but maybe have learned to balance that out. So the sign of Taurus being the bull, strong and quiet, but plunges headfirst at goals, or maybe a little stubborn, like, yeah, I'm not plunging headfirst into this anymore. I've learned some lessons on that, so I'm gonna stay stable in my strength. And ruled by the planet Venus, its lesson is love in a physical form, it being the second lesson. So balancing this war and love and war, two sides of the same coin, Taurus and Aries. Aries being fire element, Taurus being earth element. And Taurus rules the liver, sulfate of sodium is the cell salt, and this eliminates excess from the body, because Taurus also very earthly, material, physical, very much in the physical material world, indulges. And so it makes sense that it's connected to the liver, which filters out that indulgence. Yeah. Then we move into Gemini. So we have fire, earth, and then we're moving into air, May 21st through June 21st. This is the third sign, Gemini. Its sign is the twins. So representing a dual mind, being able to see both sides of the situation, which may appear like they have no claim, but this dual mind is a gift, allowing them to agree and kind of not be mediator, like harmonizer, but just go after, like very rapidly moving, very quick, like their mind is going in all directions. The planet is Mercury, planet of communication, so they have brilliant mind and logic, but it being the third sign, they don't have the other lessons of the signs yet. So imagine you first get use of this mind, just like Aries and Taurus first getting use of the body and these physical sensations. You're going to want to explore everything, and that's the point. That's great. That is the point of these signs. But little by little, so like Gemini, it also has Taurus and Aries, those lessons. It's born with that. And then Cancer, the fourth sign, will have the three above, and so on and so forth. So I'm hoping that makes sense, but I'm happy to clarify in another video. So it rules the nervous system. So its cell salt is potassium chloride. It forms fibrin in the blood and builds nerves. So Gemini rules the nervous system, which is, it makes sense. They are moving so rapidly. It's like twitching, almost like twitching from the dual sides of the mind. So now we move on to the fourth sign, Cancer, June 21st through July 22nd. So Cancer, now we are in the water. And you can notice how it moves from fire to earth to air to water. And then it's going to repeat that cycle a little bit, but with different aspects, you'll see. So Cancer is the crab, carries the home on its back or retreats within. So that's kind of like the two sides of Cancer. Very nostalgia, it's ruled by the moon, so they're very sensitive and passionate creatures. Their sense of home is always within them, but they may like to travel place to place, but keeping that sense of home. Either that or complete hermit mode, never moving from their home because they're so comfortable and attached to their things. So this is what all the signs can teach us, is the two aspects of each sign. The not even necessarily positive and negative, but just what could happen with too much of this and what could happen with not enough of this quality. And then Cancer rules the spleen, fluoride of lime. So it builds tenacious, elastic fibers holding the body together, which makes sense for the crab. You know, it has this sturdy armor. It's held together. And backing up from the beginning, we start with the brain fluid. We move down to the liver. We build up the nervous system. And then from there, we are holding the body together within this nervous system. So it's kind of like each sign is responsible for its own part of the body, which is why we need to know and respect all of the signs. Leo, it's the 5th sign, so we're in fire again. We're in fire again, but we have the lessons of the first 4 signs. We have the lesson of fire, earth, air, and water. So this fire sign is coming in more balanced, which is why Leo is the lion. Large heart, powerful, popular, could be a little bit prideful, just depending on which way the scales tilt. Its planet is the sun, coming after the moon, very interestingly. So it's like you emerge from this dark side of the moon to now you're the sun. Okay, what do I do with this sun? I have this introspection. I have use of my mind, love, war. So keeping this in mind, the sun is heart, it's ambition, big dreams, popular. Think of the lion, heart of a lion. And interestingly enough, Leo rules the heart, phosphate of magnesia, which regulates the muscular spasms, which is our heartbeat. Our heartbeat is muscular spasms. So now we have this heart, but with this fiery energy. So it's time to now reflect on maybe getting burnt by our own flame, which leads us into the earth sign Virgo, sign number 6, August 23rd through September 23rd. Its sign being the Virgin, critical, detailed, analytical, which is great, pays a lot of attention to detail, but it's coming, you got to understand that Virgo's coming from being Leo and getting possibly betrayed or burnt in its own flames. So it's very careful, practical, resourceful, intellectual planning. But again, this could go either way. Too much planning, it boxes itself in, or the more balanced sign of using this practicality to achieve balance, which will be found more in Libra, but it's learning this. Each sign is a step along the learning process of one big lesson. So Virgo rules the solar plexus, the stomach, gut, intuition, decision. The cell salt is potassium sulfate. It makes the oil necessary to keep the machinery going in the body. We are very much like a machine. A well-oiled machine is important. And so I love that Virgo is responsible for this oil, this very detailed, in the works, in the web, the nitty-gritty stuff that the other signs are like, I don't really care about that, but it is important for the functioning of the whole. And so once we've zoomed in, it's time to really zoom out with Libra. I'm a Libra. So I know this balance very well. September 23rd through October 23rd. So Libra is the scales, Libra is balance. It's coming from Virgo, so its feet are firmly planted into the earth while diving into the next lesson, which is keeping the mind and connecting to the divine. So this is where this balance comes in. Earthly, but Libra being an air sign, we're achieving or striving to achieve this balance between groundedness and connection with the divine. And the more grounded you are, the more you can connect to the divine. So this is Libra's lesson, because also with the air sign, Libra could be a little too in space and come back down. Remember your Virgo roots. Remember all the other signs that came before, actually. Which is why I love Libra. Libra has the fire, the earth, the air, the water, another round of fire that has known the previous four, another round of earth. And so the challenge for Libra will be balancing emotions, which Scorpio will be the next lesson in that. It's ruled by the planet Venus, as well as you can remember Gemini was. But where Taurus. So Taurus was more a physical sense of love, whereas Libra is more love in the mental, intellectual, abstract sense. Love and harmony and peace, and how can we achieve these abstract goals of love, planetary love, universal love. Libra rules the kidneys, carbonate of sodium, balances acids and fluids in the body. So its literal function is to balance the acids and fluids in the body, which I think is super cool. So moving on to Scorpio. Now that we've learned about achieving balance, it's time to go inward again with the water sign Scorpio. Its sign is, I don't know if I said the dates, October 23rd through November 22nd. Its sign is the scorpion, biting its own tail, representing being its own enemy. Also can be, another sign is the serpent, shedding the skin, uncovering layers, wisdom, sex. Sex organs are what Scorpio rules. Sulfate of lime. It gives tone to the gray matter in the brain. And its planet is Mars. So strong, magnetic, alluring. So where the fire sign being in Mars was more like war and head first, the water sign in Mars is going to have this strong magnetic pull. Like think of the ocean like sirens, deep. And in another episode, I'm going to be talking about the male and female energies and how sex can be in the sex organs or in the brain, this fusion of these male and female energies. So it makes sense that it's giving tone to the gray matter in the brain, because the brain is where we literally birth ideas. And so it makes sense that these two parts are connected, because we're working from the head down. We're coming in head first and we're working our way down. So we reach this connection between the sacral chakra, where the sexual organs are, our creativity lies, and the brain, where the pineal gland also is fusing together the male and female energies to create ideas, create new life inside the brain, creative energy. So yeah, that explains Scorpio a little bit, but can kind of be in this cycle, biting its own tail, being its own enemy, if it's not learning from the lessons and also getting pulled down into the lower frequencies more, rather than using this wisdom and sexual knowledge in the mind as well, this balance that we've taken this lesson from Libra. So moving on, we have Sagittarius. We're back to fire, November 22nd through December 21st. This is the 9th sign. Its sign is the Archer. So shooting at the truth, like fiery energy, like straight to the truth. Like I want to figure it out now. It's coming from Scorpio. So this makes sense, like the in the ocean pull, like shedding the skin, uncovering these layers, and it's like, okay, yeah, I'm ready. I've learned what I need to learn. I'm ready, straight for the truth. So quick, strong, seeker, jumping from place to place. Planet is Jupiter, so it loves music, festival, celebration, the finer things in life. It rules the thighs, right below the sacral chakra. So its cell salt is silica, also known as quartz. It stiffens the walls of hair, nails, and cells. And the self salt is like these tiny little arrows, which makes perfect sense for the archer, Sagittarius. So after we've kind of, like, Sagittarius is great, it's enjoying all the finer things in life, but if too quick, it can kind of leap towards things it's not ready for. So we need to ground ourselves again with Capricorn, number 10 in the zodiac, being an earth sign, December 21st through January 21st. So Capricorn is represented by the goat, independent, leader, practical, like a complete shift from the Sagittarius energy. Like, okay, maybe I was jumping around too much. We're gonna go nice and slow to the beat of my own drum, but very in a practical sense, not beat of my own drum, just like go, go, go. It's ruled by Saturn. So kind of like devil's advocate, crushing influence. I can be my own savior, which is an important lesson. No one's coming to save you. You save yourself. But then we'll learn in the last two that this is what creates the yearning for merging and social impact. But we need this independent first. Capricorn is a very important lesson in self-salvation. Bones, strength within your own being, groundedness, grounded in your own being, because this is the fourth, this is the last earth sign come around. We've had Taurus, strong and quiet, plunging at the goals. We've had Virgo, very practical, very detail-oriented. And now we have, sorry, I'm getting a little bit caught up in my own thing. Anyway, we'll do another video on that. I want to focus just on the overview. So it rules the bones. So its cell salt is calcium phosphate. It makes cement for the bones, which I love. So Aquarius, January 21st through February 21st, it's the water carrier is the sign, which is funny because it rules the white blood cells. Its cell salt being sodium chloride, and its function is literally the water carrier, carrying water throughout our own body, and therefore carrying the waters of life to all parts of life. We've had our independence with Capricorn, and now with Aquarius, it's this visionary energy, merging, freedom, age of Aquarius, the golden age. We're coming together. We're learning the lessons. This being number 11, we're learning the lessons of all the previous signs. But there's still one more to go. So it's ruled by Saturn also, just like Capricorn, but with less ego, more in a merging with the whole sense. We first get crushed into the earth, and now being a water sign, from that crushing, we can flow out what we've learned. And the last sign, number 12, being Pisces, February 21st through March 21st, its sign is the fish, letting go of self, inspired dreamers. This complete, not just this desire and this vision to merge with the self, it's the act of completely letting go of the self, merging with the one, knowing we are one. It's the completion. And it rules the feet, which is the foundation of the body, and red blood cells, phosphate of iron, which is the cell salt, and that is the foundation of blood and circulation. So we start with the head and move down to the feet, which is kind of funny that it's the fish and it's the feet. But it's ruled by Jupiter, brilliance, ceremony, romance. And I'm going to try to do a quick overview of how these all loop together now that we've gone through them one by one. So our fire signs, we have Aries, we have Leo, we have Sagittarius. Our earth signs, there's 3 of each. I don't know, I was thinking there was 4 of each for a second. I'm like, that doesn't make sense because there's only 12 signs. And so the earth signs, we have Taurus, then we have Virgo, then we have Capricorn. For the air signs, we start with Gemini, and then we have Libra, and then we have Aquarius. Aquarius is actually an air sign, I know, even though it's the water carrier. Maybe that's like the evolved air it's really this merging because all the elements really are one in different forms. And the fire signs, I already did that. I mean, the water signs, so we have Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces as the water signs. And you can see how we start the first round: fire, earth, air, water, and then another round: fire, earth, air, water, and then the last round of fire, earth, air, water. So each time going through this cycle of the elements, these signs have the other lessons to draw upon. But you can see, that's like, is it better to go first or to go last? In a circle, can you tell who starts first and last? I want you to think of it like a circle, not like Aries is first and Pisces is last, or Pisces is first and Aries is last. Like, it's in one loop. And it being in one loop, it's necessary to have all these lessons merge together. And it's always the circle. It's always the cycle. But it's just for the signs, their experience on this earth, to get a deeper sense of their rulers and their tendencies, to realize that they're all a part of the same circle. So I hope this video was helpful. Leave a comment below if there's anything else you want me to get more into. I would love to do more of these charts as well. So let me know what you're interested in learning in, and let me know how this resonates with you. Have a great day, and try to learn something new about your sign or a friend's sign. It's pretty easy to search up your birth chart online, and you can see you're not just your sun sign, but you're that snapshot of the sky from when you were born. So yeah, much love to you all, and thank you for watching.